What's up, painting friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stoof, and today we're going to do a quick 20-minute acrylic painting tutorial, which is in real time, for this guy right here. This is a nice little sunset in the Appalachian Mountains, and I've done paintings like this before, but I really enjoy this type of landscape, so we're going to do another one. So this one is pretty simple. I would say beginners could do this one. The toughest thing for a beginner is probably going to be the sky in this painting, so just take your time with it and have fun and sit back and relax. The painting tutorial is coming up next. Alright guys, so we're using acrylic paint for this tutorial here, and I have a cup of water there and my paints on my palette. My palette is just a piece of wax paper or parchment paper. It's nice and quick and disposable, so I prefer using that as a palette. To get started, I'm using a larger angled brush, so it's like a flat tip brush with a bit of an angle on it. And I'm just taking a cool red and blending back and forth on the canvas. Next, I take a little bit of my ultramarine blue and I blend that in right over top of that cool red that I put on the canvas. Now, I started with a base color of like a pinkish background for this. You don't need to do that. I had that background color because I had a painting on here previously and I covered it up with my extra paint that I had in my palette, so that's why I started with that pink background. You can start with a white canvas, or if you want, you can make like a gray neutral color to start with, just to help you make sure all of your colors are looking a little bit more true and not getting washed out with that bright white. But I'm continuing to make those back and forth brush strokes. I have a decent amount of paint on the brush, but not an overwhelming amount of paint. I don't want to get like texture on the canvas. I want to have just enough paint so that it will sweep across the canvas with the brush, but not leave any actual texture. I started to mix in some warm red and yellow to get that orange color, and now I'm mixing in a little bit of white and some more yellow, brightening things up as we're moving higher up in the sky, continuing to make those back and forth brush strokes, pressing, I'd say I'm pressing into the canvas a decent amount just to get a nice smooth blend. Nice transition of color from that cool purple up into that yellow. And then at the top of the sky we have like a greenish blue color, so I just mix a little bit of my warm blue in with my yellow and white and just put that right at the top of the canvas and blended it right down into that yellow color. Here I just took a little white with yellow and I made a couple little streaks holding the brush so that I'm getting a finer line, still using that flat angled brush, and that's just giving me a couple little clouds that are illuminated by the sun. You can put these clouds wherever you want. You don't have to go too crazy with detail either. Just like some nice little streaks of light color will look pretty nice and will read as clouds. Towards the bottom of the sky, the clouds start to pick up more of those pinks and reds and browns, so I blended some of my cool red with white and added some little clouds at the base of the sky there. Now I took some of my red and my yellow and I made that orange, added a little bit of white in there as well, and I just want to warm up the sky a bit more in this section and then let that color kind of fade into the other parts of the sky. So as I'm letting that color fade, I'm not pressing as with as much force onto the canvas. I'm letting it blend more softly. Starting to add a few more saturated pinks and purples into the sky here now, and that's just giving it a little bit more depth to the sky and just making it a little bit more vibrant. Then I just went back over that again with more of those lighter clouds. And here I'm starting to mix the color for the mountains that are going to be far in the distance, and these mountains are going to be more purple. So I started by mixing some green and blue, and then I kept adding more purple and cool red until I got that to a less green and more purple spectrum for this mountain in the far distance. I also mixed some white and a little bit of black in there as well, so it's not as saturated. Now I'm just taking some white there and letting that blend up a little bit into my pink in the sky. I'm moving pretty quickly here, so the paint is still wet in the sky, and I'm just letting it blend right up into there so that it looks like we have some low-lying clouds far off in the distance, maybe even a little bit of fog. Then I finished carrying those little mountain slopes over onto the right side of the canvas. Once I got the ridges painted on there, I took a little bit more white, mixed that in, and then I added that at the base part of that mountain and blended up till I got closer up to the ridge, covering up all of the background and just making a nice smooth transition of that blue-purple mountain in the distance. Here I mixed in a little bit more of blue and a little bit more black maybe, just to make this next mountain peak look a little bit closer to us, and we're gonna keep getting more saturated and more contrast with our mountain peaks as they're moving closer to us. So you don't want to use pure blue and black for your mountains that are really far in the distance. You want to mix in lots of white and maybe a hint of black just to tone down the saturation for those mountains in the distance. And then the mountains in the foreground are going to have more greens and yellows and a lot more saturation and contrast, so you're going to have a lot of darker shadows for the mountains that are right in the foreground. Another thing with these mountains here, we have a little bit of like a haze or a fog in the little valleys in between each mountain, so it's going to be lighter at the base of each mountain. So we're going to add more white at the base of the mountain and then blend that up until you reach the ridge of the mountain, and that'll give you that like kind of foggy look at the base. And we're not able to see individual trees yet, so I'm still just making a smooth line for these ridges. And once we get really close in the foreground, we'll start to add a little bit of bumpy ridges with the brush to make it look like we have some trees on top of the mountains. So again, I'm just starting to mix in a little bit more green and blue and black as we're moving closer to the foreground, continuing to make up my little mountain ridges here. My mountains are starting to look a little bit more steep as well because they're getting closer to us. Adding a little bit more blue at the peak of the mountain just to darken that up. And here you can see I started to make a little bit of a ridge, a little bit of like a jagged brush stroke mark there on the ridge of the mountain, and that's to show that we can start to see a little bit of detail of where some trees might be. Again, taking a little bit of white with my cool blue and putting that at the base of this mountain and then brushing that back and forth all the way up. And I'm still using the exact same paintbrush that I started out with in the beginning here, that flat-tipped angled brush. Continuing to add mountain peaks, moving closer and closer to the foreground. Want to keep the ridge nice and dark and lighten things up as we're getting closer to the base of each mountain. And you can see I have an even darker color here than each mountain peaks in the background behind it. Just adding a couple little ridges there. Again, adding white with cool blue and blending that right up into the ridge of the mountain, just going back and forth until I get a nice smooth transition. Now I'm starting to blend more green into my mountain color here. So we have green, blue, maybe a hint of brown and a hint of black for this ridge line here. And this one's not quite as steep. If you want to make this one steep, you can. You guys can do as many ridge lines or as few ridge lines as you would like. You definitely do not have to follow this exactly. And I'm getting to the point where you can start to see some highlights and some shadows on each individual little part of the mountain there. So I'm just taking some white mixed with my green, maybe a hint of yellow in there as well. And I'm going right over the wet paint and brightening things up. I do go back later and add some more shadows to boost that contrast. And we got we're right in the foreground now, so we've got some of these bushes right up close to us in the foreground. I just mixed in more yellow and brown since we're right up close to the viewer. I'm still using that same brush. You guys are welcome to switch paintbrushes if you want to get more detail in, especially of this part. I'm working on the trees. Definitely recommend using a flat brush for this, but a finer flat tip brush would get you more of a intricately detailed tree here. I'm just working quickly, so wasn't focusing on details too much. And this is just the little pine that we have in the foreground. I mixed some black, brown, blue, and green to get that color. You could start with just the center line for the trunk of the tree and then start to add each individual branch, or you could do the branches first, but I just hold the brush and kind of dab it on the paint, on the canvas there. I have another video on making pine trees. If you guys are interested in learning more about that, I will link that below this video so you can check that out. Or maybe I'll just do a pop-up card. Again, I'm starting to add more little highlights here in the bushes in the foreground. Again, just being super quick, not getting too detailed, just trying to add some more color and a little bit more definition to the foreground, just to separate it from the background a little bit more. Adding some more little highlights. It's a little cooler over here. The sun isn't quite reaching this, so it's not as warm. Shadows are the highlights are a little cooler here. And another thing you could do to make this foreground have a little more contrast and stand out some more would be to let the paint dry before you add your shadows, and then let it dry again, and then add another round of highlights. Like I had mentioned before, I was working quickly, did this entire painting in less than 20 minutes, so I didn't let the paint dry before I added my highlights and shadows in the foreground. To do those little grasses in the bottom left, you just hold your brush. So I did switch to a small brush here. This is also a flat tip brush, and you can just take your brush and very lightly hold it loosely and just kind of drag the paint very quickly, making little like oval shapes, arc shapes, you know, and that kind of gives you the little grassy look. You don't want to press too hard when you're trying to paint grasses. And it also helps if you thin down the paint a bit too with some water or an acrylic paint thinner. And now for the last little touch to this painting that brings it to life and makes everything come together, and that is our sun that is setting in the sky. Just a little guy back there, and the sunset here is, there might be some clouds like kind of in front of it, or just like some haziness in the sky that doesn't make that sun be like perfectly white. Maybe it's just where it is in the sky, it's just about to set over the horizon, but our sun here is like a yellow. We still have a bit of an orange glow around it, and I still put a nice little highlight on there just to brighten that up and draw our attention right back into that setting sun. But this isn't one of those pure white sunsets that just like glow and have a very soft but bright sun. This one's more of a hard shape and more yellow. Here I'm just trying to soften up those edges a bit so it's not super sharp. Also trying to get that circle shape a little bit more accurate while still working quickly and loosely. And that's basically it. Let's see if we do anything else here. And finally, I just add a couple more little clouds right over the setting sun, just to show that a few more clouds are being lit up by that sunset. Also, those clouds are a little farther in the background, farther away from us, so they are smaller. The clouds at the top of the sky are closest to us, so they're going to be the biggest. Adding a little bit more warm orange to the sky, just to continue giving this painting the full color palette. That's it, guys. It's a pretty quick, simple acrylic painting tutorial. Like I said in the beginning, the clouds and the sky were probably the trickiest part of this one. The mountains were all pretty repetitive and straightforward, so hope you enjoyed this painting tutorial. If you recreate this painting, you can post it on your Instagram page and then just tag my Instagram page, The Painting Stoof, so that I can see it. And you can also put it on my Facebook page, The Painting Stoof. I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' paintings. Hope you have a great day, stay safe and healthy out there, and happy painting. Bye-bye!